guys through the template so that when you're looking at this, you're not overwhelmed and you understand where everything's at. Okay, so this is a template that a prior student, Maddie, made, and she did such an excellent job with it that I think that this is going to be your marker for this. And in prior semesters, when we meet in person, I make you guys all do this on your own, make you create the grid lines and establish this. But because this is an online class and it's harder to do kind of this one-on-one instruction, you guys are free to use this as a template, as an example. So we're all on the same page. We all know what is expected and what our final outcome should be. So here is what we are shooting for. This is our final end game. You're going to digitize all of your letters, all of your capital letters, all of your lowercase letters, and you are going to put them all on separate layers, but you will have them established a baseline cap height for your lowercase letters, baseline X height. So when you print this out, this artboard out, this lines all up, everything is all lined up, and we can see the consistencies. It's much easier to see if, for example, you've got one letter that's way taller than the other, thicker than the other. It's a lot easier to see how uniform they are. And if we're looking at this typeface, everything is pretty uniform. Okay, so this is your end goal. Down here, this is when we digitize your font. You will be able to actually install it in Illustrator and type it out with that. So we'll come back to this. This is more third step of the process, okay? So this will come after we do this portion here. So let's talk about here and how you're going to digitize your letters. So as you'll notice, everything, so Maddie has put everything on its own layer. Everything is locked. You guys, as you digitize these letters, you will remove what Maddie has as a template, obviously. So you'll unlock them, delete them, and then put your own letters in there, okay? So just as you're working through your alphabet, just delete the old ones, go ahead and put them on the line, and then make sure that you're keeping them on their own layer. For those of you who are brand new to Illustrator, selecting layers, it's easy to put everything on one layer if you're not being careful, but you have to make sure that the individual layer is selected. So if you have finished your capital A, make sure it's on capital A, and you'll know if you click on this little circle to the right, and then you know that you're on that layer and it's not going to jump around. So this is kind of your marker. If this circle has been like kind of highlighted with another circle, you're like, okay, good. That is good to go. So again, this template, everything will be locked for you. You're just going to go through and unlock things. So let me walk you through the process here. So first things first, what you're going to do is after you've done your rough sketches and you've gotten feedback from me, you are going to work on digitizing them with the pen tool in Illustrator. And so how you're going to do that, you're going to go to File, Place, and you're going to place an image of your letter. So here. And then most importantly, down here, you can see the image. This will be image, letter, whatever. Make sure that you lock it. If you don't lock it and you're trying to trace over, it's going to move around. So as a default, everything is going to be locked, just to remind you guys that you'll have to unlock things as you go, but as a default, it will be locked. Most likely, and then how are you taking the photos? You're just taking a photo of this. Some of you are working on your images already in a digitized form. So you'll bring those over. I want you to all do it in Illustrator for this project. So you'll just bring those forms in however you want. But if you're snapping a cell phone photo of your letters, you will place them and lock them so that you can trace them. And then over here, if we're scrolling up, I've got guidelines 3. These are guidelines 3, and that's not intuitive, but maybe I'll rename that. I'll name this pen tool guide lines. Okay, So then this way you know which lines are which. Okay, so here. So I have this as locked, and do you see how you're going to line up your letters and you're going to say, okay, there's the baseline, where's the ascender height? These guidelines here are not going to be for everybody's typeface. So what you'll do is you'll unlock them. See, pen tool guidelines unlocked. And then I've already grouped these for you so that they should move in the same. So if your letter guideline is here, 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 you're going to establish your own heights for everything, right? So you'll move this up, you'll move this down, and I think I went through and I grouped all of these, so there should be no problem. I know things can get really confusing in Illustrator, but all right, so once you have your established, you've got your A, your lowercase a, and you're establishing that this is the way to go for this, then go ahead and lock your guidelines. Once you've established that this is proper, you're like, okay, well, mine was 1, 2, 3. My X height was this. My X height was that. So move your guidelines and then lock them because you don't want to be tracing over that. So if you have your image in, your image is locked, your guidelines are locked, everything else is locked, what you'll do is you will go with the pen tool and you will start to on the layer that you want. So you will be, if you're working on, for example, this, the lowercase k, okay, so you'll unlock that. You'll make sure that you're on here. You're going to delete the old letter, the old digitized letter. Okay, so you'll delete this, or actually that's the capital. Okay, so lowercase. Okay, unlock, click. You'll delete this letter, and then once you're on that layer, you're going to use the pen tool, and then you're going to trace. Okay, you're going to trace all the way around your letters, and then using whatever stroke that you want. Window Workspace Essentials Classic is probably where you guys want to be as you're doing this. But as you're digitizing and you're going through the pen tool and you're tracing everything out, then you're going to, that letter will be done. You're like, good, 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 good. That's all set. Grab this letter. Okay, then you will grab your letter and then you'll move it over here. Okay, so the idea here about using this template is that you're slowly replacing all of Maddie's letters and you're filling them in with your own. It's a really good setup. If you prefer to do this on your own, you prefer to do it a different way, that's okay. These guidelines are a little bit long. You see, I'm going to see if I can shorten these up for you guys. But that's the name of the game. And then you'll after you're done tracing this on your layers panel, you'll pop this photo out, put another photo in, lock it, trace it, and then the process repeats itself.